Hey guys, it's Troy here with my new custom track review series where in each video I will review one individual custom track and give my opinions on it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I think.
You didn't think you were going to be doing this on your own, did you?
Who is this?
I am the voice inside of your head. Who do you think it is?
Sword of Seals! I thought you were dead. You don't make videos anymore.
Now, hold on just a second. That may be true, but that doesn't mean I don't know a good CT when I see one. Troy, do you know the 4 key elements that we use to grade a custom track?
Of course I know them. I don't need your help, Tomothy.
Oh yeah? Is that so? Go on then, humor me. What's the first key element?
Well, the first key element is appearance. How good does it look to the racer? Is it visually appealing?
Very good. But that's the easy one, Troy. What's the second one?
The second one is design. Design is just, does the track design make sense? Are there multiple routes?
You're forgetting the important part, Troy.
What's the important part then?
The fastest route. The route that everybody will take. Does it have a good balance of routes? Is the fastest route accessible? Does it make sense?
Okay, I'll give you that. That is important.
How about the third one?
The third one is playability. Are there any unpolished aspects of the tracks? Does the track give good races?
Not bad. You've done well, Troy. I'm impressed. But now the most important of all, the final element. What is it?
The final element is the most important one. It is complexity, and it can be summed up in one simple sentence. Is it easy to pick up, but hard to master?
Complexity, Troy, is how much depth a track has. Depth. That's the most important part of all. You should know that.
Yes, depth is what makes the Nintendo tracks so great. It's why people play the Nintendo tracks over and over again for years. The good ones strike the perfect balance between what a casual likes as well as what the hardcore racer desires.
Ah, looks like you do know after all. Not bad. Not bad.
Hey man, like I said before, I don't need your help.
Well, unfortunately, I'm here to stay, and I'm not going anywhere. You're gonna have to put up with me for a while.
Okay.
Anyway, without further
Fair
ado,
enough.
let's go on to our first track, shall we?
And what is that?
The first track we're gonna look at is Abyssal Ruins!
So at first we're going to drive a lap of this track and check out its appearance.
Sounds good to me.
Right off the bat, I actually just, I flew over that ramp. I missed the big ramp. That would be an issue with design, because that sometimes happens on that first one. And on the second one right here, it never happens.
Well, we're looking at appearance first, Troy. Remember that. You got to look at how the track
That
looks.
is true.
So right now, this section here, what do you think of it?
Oh, it's gorgeous. This track is absolutely gorgeous to look at. It has many really cool looking elements. Like even this cave section right here, which is sort of bland, still has the awesome water effect on the.
It's got that whole going in and out of water feature to it, and it kind of pulls off the trick really well. You've got dismantled buildings and temples and artifacts going on around the outsides of the track.
For sure.
It all brings you back into this corrupted wasteland of an opening.
Now, what I really like at this very beginning right here is how this section is completely dark. You can hardly see it. It just gives us this ominous feel that that you don't see when you're actually driving in it. You know, it's really cool how they do that. It reminds me of like Luigi's Mansion when you see the beginning and the mansion is just completely dark and you can just see the eyes of it. It's just like that.
And this opening section's really eerie. It kind of makes you feel a bit uncomfortable at points as well, because you've got these broken pillars here. He's put ton of attention into detail here. He's made some of the pillars uneven from each other. It gives that feel. But I mean, like, this track doesn't have any dancers or any yachts in the water or anything like that, so like it's just super lame, you know?
I see what you're doing. You're referencing that old series of mine, RTCT.
Yeah, that's the one.
Rate Track Custom Dad, or whatever it was called.
I remember that series, Troy. We all remember. We're never gonna forget it. RTCT, forever in our hearts.
Okay.
Well, now that we've done the appearance, what do you think of its design? I mean, it seems to have just the one route. It doesn't really diverge anywhere.
Okay. Well, shall we mention the shortcut?
The shortcut's an important part of the route. It was implemented into its design.
So yeah, it does really just have one route the whole time. But if you get to right here, there's a cool little aspect here where you could go take the wide route and get an item box, or you could take the shortcut. The shortcut is a little bit difficult though, so you know it does have a little bit of risk in it, and it definitely is faster taking the shortcut. I'm going to demonstrate it right now. So what you do is you trick, you lean back, and then you land, and bam, that's how it goes.
But it does skip an item set, and on 100cc, it's even more much harder to do it. Yeah, and certain vehicles will struggle with that, so there is a risk-reward element with that, and that's nice. That adds to the design.
It's a good shortcut, yeah, for sure. That definitely helps with its design. I'll give it that for sure. And then I like right here how you could trick off the side of this statue.
Yeah.
The part holding it. You know, the base of it.
The road splits into two as well, so you've got a left side and a right side as well, cool, so sure. It's not, you know, only applying to one part. I mean, this part is kind of the part of the track where the track starts to feel a bit, I don't know.
Going back to appearance, right here, as you can see, there is like, it kind of just cuts off. It's got that cool water effect, and then it just cuts off on the wall right here, which is really odd. Yeah. That's just a small gripe, though. That's
I mean, it doesn't really do much damage, but yeah, for sure, that's definitely something small that could be alleviated.
And then this leaf section right here is where I feel like if they could somehow implement like those maple treeway leaf bushes, like all across right here, just if you can make them like barely noticeable, like in the floor, and just not give out an item, so when you fly through this part,
I get it.
It gives the effect of leaves.
Yeah, I get it.
That would be
to
really
add a bit more realism, right? I'm guessing. Yeah. While you was looking at the leaf green area, I couldn't help but notice this building in the background there. That's kind of like just sitting there all alone. And
that forgotten temple. Yeah.
You're never gonna really see it because when you're coming out of this section, you don't see it unless you see it in the rearview mirror, like so. And
that's true.
This area out here is really open and bland, and there's just open water space. You could probably shift that temple over here.
Oh yeah. Put it like right there.
Yeah. To give it a bit more scenery, a bit more view. So
definitely, yeah. That should be changed to its location.
You've got the slow ramp there. How do you feel about this part of the road that gives you a slow?
This slow ramp's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. But what I wish you could do is I wish you could jump off right here and like land over there and just skip both the slow ramps like a mushroom shortcut. But watch, if I jump, it just immediately counts me out. So that kind of upsets me.
That's unfortunate.
Like I think that would add a little bit more to the track if it actually had a shroom spot. Because right now it doesn't really have a shroom spot.
It has the bouncy
Another thing
pad.
I noticed. Yeah, but there's also a bouncy pad at the end here, and if you could shroom off this bouncy pad and land on the side of the beginning straightaway, like cut off this turn right here, that'd be a cool shortcut also. But it won't let you do that either. It counts you out of bounds before you can even reach there. Because like then you'd land over here, and then you know you could go about this road right here, and then you could get the trick.
What?
That'd be really cool.
Why couldn't you even drive on this part of the temple anyway? Interesting. Okay, so now that we've covered the playability, what do you think of the complexity of the track? Does it have a learning curve? Does it have a lot of tech?
Well, as our race is about to end, we'll have to think about complexity in a minute.
Turns out that we ran out of time on that race. We're going to have to race it one more time just to do our final key element, which is complexity.
I just got that thing happen again where I flew over that first ramp. That's definitely a minor problem.
Yeah.
Where you could fly over that ramp. If it could be fixed, then you know, you'd always get the boost, and that would be a lot more reliable. Just a small issue, but definitely noteworthy.
Well, you'll always get sent down fast, so even if you do miss it, you don't lose too much time, and you'll always be able to get the trick off of here. But yeah, as we said. Not too big of a deal.
So just summarizing playability, unpolished aspects, very minor stuff for the most part. It's definitely one of the best custom tracks, and the track does give good races overall. However, the ending section is a little weird. It feels a little bit awkward to drive on. And let's lead into complexity now. Is it easy to pick up but difficult to master? What do you think, Tom?
I think it's really basic to learn. I mean, it's got a really nice...
Totally.
It's got a really helpful mini-map there, if you can see that. It tells you exactly where you need to go, what to do. It doesn't have the shortcut on the mini-map, which is interesting. That's like a little bit of know-how that you have to play around and find it yourself. We already touched upon the shortcut. That adds a layer of depth to the track, for sure.
It's got a decent amount of tech with some low tricks and some extra tricks added. it is fun to drive on. There's only a couple ending sections I'm not too fond of.
That's true. You've also got the item tech as well. You've got item strategy, Troy. Every section where you enter and leave the water, you can always lay a banana or a fib or something like that, and you won't be able to see it.
That is a good point, yeah.
So if I get a banana here, and if I head to the next underwater segment,
okay, and I'll follow you.
And I'm going to lay a banana right about here. Well, it won't work there, but coming out of the water here, you can trap, and there's no way that your opponent will be able to see it. So that's...
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
like, if I lay a fake item box, like, right here, then, yeah, there's no way you'd be able to tell until it's right in your face.
And there's no time to react to that, because you're expecting... You're already preoccupied on getting the low trick coming out of the water, so...
That is very true, yeah.
So that's nice.
So, yeah, like, you get the low trick, and then, like, you fly up, and then, bam, fib in the face.
Aye.
That's really cool. It's kind of like a hidden trap spot, and there's a couple of those, I believe, with how it dips down real quick, and it'll have water section to show up.
There's another one really right awesome. Up here. You've got this kind of a humped turn, which is... It is
a bit odd, yeah.
I feel like there's a reason for it, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
I don't know. I couldn't figure it out either. And then right here, there seems to be like a big off-road shortcut, what you would think, but it's not worth it at all, because the way you have to go around these these little temples structures awkwardly, you're not really cutting off anything. You're just getting back to the main road. So it's kind of unfortunate that he wasn't able to utilize that at all, but I guess he didn't want to, because otherwise he would have changed the turn. Of course. Yeah.
I feel like this track was made to be fairly fast-paced. That's one thing that I will say about this track, is that the races are very fast-paced, they're very frantic, action-packed. There isn't a huge level of shortcut potential, which always keeps the races close, but it gives a small upper hand advantage. You've got this section here, which is a great place for throwing items back, as you can see right there. Mm-hmm. You don't really have much time to react to it. Again, the road dips.
You can low trick this also.
Yep.
I just got it right there.
But
you could probably low trick this one too.
I don't know how.
Like I said, I mentioned two small shortcuts that could be added just to add a little more depth to it. But overall, it is a very good track. It does not lack on any of the four major categories that we talked about.
It doesn't excel in any of them, other than appearance. I feel like its strongest asset is its appearance. It's one of the most beautiful CTs that you could ever wish to see.
Yes.
Just, you've got flames on the sides of the pillars. If you come down with me here, and we're gonna sit here, and I want you to angle your bike and charge a mini turbo on the slope here. So come down a little bit more and just charge a mini turbo and look up at that. You can see that he's taken the time to construct the fact that the arches are broken, and he's done this with every single arch itself. He's done it.
That is really cool.
So they're all different, and they all have different amounts.
Extra small details like that that you could really appreciate. Just like when you take a second and stop and look at like the Nintendo tracks, you can always catch little things that
for sure
make you happy.
I feel like this
track has some of that.
It excels more than a Nintendo track in terms of its appearance, but in terms of design, it does the job. It gets the job done. It's not confusing. It's great for people who are new to the game to pick up. You won't struggle with it at all, so it wins on the playability field, and it has a fair level of complexity to it that makes it a track.
I just failed the shortcut, proving it's not super easy. You can fail. If there's items in the way, or if racers are bumping you, that shortcut is definitely something you could fail. Or if it's 100cc, so yeah.
And I feel the need to give extra shout-outs for having an Arceus statue in the track. That's a pretty good tribute right there.
For sure.
I do feel like...
If it's the whole, Spear Pillar, or the Pokemon place that he's found at.
Yeah, I do feel like Abyssal Ruins is kind of based on some sort of, Pokemon area, and that just validates...
Diamond and Pearl.
That validates my suspicions completely. Overall, it's a very nice track, and I'm very pleased with it. I think it's...
This will probably be the best track we ever do on this series. We want to start things out positive. We're always going to do tracks that we feel have a lot of potential, though. We're never going to do a track that we think is just not very good. So,
I think that about wraps it up. So, without further ado, let's go into our final part, Troy. The final verdict! This is where we list off the pros and the cons of the track. So we weigh up everything that we've covered so far, and we list it, and we make our weighted opinion of what we think about the track.
Well, pros, first of all. Appearance.
Beautiful.
There's lots of small details that make the track unique and beautiful to look at. Few minor gripes we had, like the position of that one temple and the ivy wall being unanimated. Like we thought of a way to like maybe give it some flavor. And then the water in the tunnel, how it like stopped, the cool effect it had on the wall in the spiral. Remember that?
Yeah. So minor
things,
quirks everywhere, but as a
overall,
whole,
the appearance definitely that falls under the pro category for sure. That leads us to design. I mean, like, you know, the multiple routes. There's the shortcut, and there's the statue area. So it's got that. The ending section doesn't really have any extra routes. There are no shortcuts at all, even though there could be, like I pointed out, a couple areas where you could add shortcuts just by removing the fall boundaries. But overall, the track design makes sense. There are no weird routes that are just completely useless. Like, I can make sense of everything he put in the track.
I have to agree with you. I think the track does a really good job at being really basic in terms of its shape and design, but at the same time it offers enough complexity to the point where someone that's good at the game or wants to learn the track in extra detail can sit down and figure out how it works and have a lot of fun with it. And that's what makes a track good. That is what makes a CT playable and fun. And that's the most important part, right? I mean, that's why we all play Mario Kart, for fun.
Most of
us, anyway.
Okay, so playability, definitely a polished track. Very minor problems, and it does give good races. I can vouch for it. I've had plenty of good races on it, so that definitely falls in the pro category. And complexity, easy to pick up, difficult to master. I would say easy to pick up, medium difficulty to master. It's not very difficult at all.
It doesn't have too much in the track.
It doesn't have anything that I could practice that I like can't do, you know. Like, I pointed out a couple shortcut possibilities that would be difficult, that would save some time, that could be possible shroom spots, and that would be cool if he added them. But at the moment, there is nothing that difficult about it.
Other than the bouncy mushroom pad shortcut in the cave is definitely the most complex thing you've got going on right now. Is once you've learned that and got that down consistently, the track is pretty much a matter of muscle memory for the most part.
Yeah, and the low jumps aren't too difficult, nor do they matter that much at all. So
overall, what do we think of this track? I think it's great.
Well, the cons list doesn't really have anything except the complexity kind of falls somewhere in the middle between pros and cons. But there is nothing that is like a clear con to me. It is all pros for the most part.
These are all minor, tiny little visual things that he could fix, or just like alternate routes that he could add, like pieces of scenery that he could just add as, like you said, the shroom spots. It doesn't really have a shroom spot other than the bouncy mushroom pad, which doesn't need to be.
That's not a shroom spot though. That's shroomless.
You don't even need a shroom for it for the most part.
Exactly. So it doesn't have a shroom spot, yeah. Okay. I think that sums it up. I mean, we did pros and cons, we did our categories, and I promise you this next track that we do will not be as highly praised. No track we do after this one will be as highly praised as this one for a while.
We had to start off with a bang. I mean, we wanted to get you guys.
From now on, we want to do tracks that we actually have criticisms for.
This one's hard to criticize. It
definitely
plays
was
really well. I've played so many races on it, and it's only when you sit down and look at it really in depth that you notice these little tiny visual problems it has. But they don't affect how the track plays really, so it's hard to criticize it really. But yeah,
definitely. And that about sums up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be uploading these pretty regularly. Gonna try to upload one every single week, so look forward to that, and I will not spoil what the next track is. Gonna keep it a surprise, but I promise you that it won't be as highly praised as this one. In fact, we won't do a track for a while that will be as highly praised as this one. We're gonna do tracks that we actually have some criticisms on.
We had to start out with a track that, you know, just blew us away.
One you can't not like.
For sure.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you for watching once again, and Sword of Seals is not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere. Next one. I will be here.
And the next one after that, and the next one after that.
Forever
and so on. Alright. See you guys.